Hello everyone, welcome to day 16 of solving SQL. Today we are going to solve this problem called gameplay analysis 4. So in this problem there is a single table called activity. In this table there are 4 columns: player ID and event date. Player ID and event date together is your primary key for this table. Device ID is the ID of the device which the player has logged in into the system, and games played is the number of games the player has played. So this is a table which stores the information of some game in on which the players must log in to play. Okay, and this is the information in regarding the table. Now in this question, the question is asking you, write a solution to report a fraction of players that logged in again on the day after the day they have first logged in, rounded to 2 decimal places. So we have to see in this table the information stored is the player ID and the event date, that is the date on which the player has played the game. So some players might play a game on a regular basis. Some might not play the game on regular basis. So we have to find the fraction of players that have logged in consecutively for 2 days, starting from the first date. Okay, we have to find those players who have logged in for the 2 consecutive days, starting from the first date. Okay, if a player has logged in on the first day, then that player must log in on the second consecutive day also, the next day also. If that player is not logged in on the second day, then he will not be counted. So what is the total fraction of the total number of players that have played the game? What is that fraction? We need to find out that fraction. Okay, so how to solve this problem? Let us understand it more by going through the example table. So in the example table, there are 3 players, 1, 2, and 3. Player ID 1 has played it on the 1st March and the 2nd March. They have played. So he has fulfilled our criteria that he has logged in on 2 consecutive days starting from the first. Because what is the first login date? This is 1st March, and on the 2nd March he has again logged in. So this player has fulfilled our criteria. Now player ID 2, his first login date that he registered into the game is 25th of June. But 26th of June, the player ID 2 is not there. Therefore, 2 will not be counted in our calculation. Number 3, player ID 3, he has first logged in it on 2nd of March. Then he did not log in, and he played after 2 years, he played on 3rd of July he again. So he will not be counted. But total, how many players were there? 3 players in our system. There are 3 players, and among the 3 players, only one player has fulfilled our criteria. Therefore, our fraction that we need to calculate is 1 by 3. Therefore, 0.33 is the answer. Okay. So I hope you have understood the explanation regarding the problem. So try to solve it yourself. Go to LeetCode and try to solve this question. And after you have solved, I will be solving it here. And I will give you a hint how to solve the problem. You can try to find the first login date from the event date column. How to find it using the min function. Okay. Then you can use the subquery or city. You have to use the join also. Okay, I have given you the hint. Go to LeetCode and try to solve it yourself. Okay, now let me solve it here. So first I'm going to write a city. Suppose with I'm writing my first table as first log. Okay. So this is my city table. First login as I need to select the player ID. I need the player ID. I need the minimum of the event date. This minimum function will give me the first event date for a particular player. Okay, for each player I need to use the group by function. So from the activity, and then I am going to use the group by one. So this query will give me for each player ID what is the first login. Suppose this I am naming it as, suppose, first login date. First login date. Okay. So let me show you what this table will return. Select from our first log. For each player, I am getting the particular date. This is the date. This is the starting date. Okay, you can check from this table also. Player ID 1, what is the starting date? 1st of March 2016. For player ID 2, only one day is 25. Okay. Player ID 3, it is 2nd of March. Okay. So my this part is complete. Gotten the I got the first login date. Now what I am going to do, I am going to join this table. I am going to use a left join. Why I am going to use the left join? Because I need all the information from the player ID. So I am going to use the left join uh, with the activity table. Activity table. I am going to use the activity table A, and I'm going to write here first login FL. Okay. So I'm going to join this first login table with the activity table. How? On the player ID column F1 on, I have to write here on FL dot player ID must be equal to what? A dot player ID. The IDs, player IDs must be same, and what needs to same. Now this is the important part. Okay. Now my event date must be after the first login date. So I'm going to use the date difference. There is a function called date diff. So this function will return me the difference between two dates. Okay. So the first login date and the event date. So event date is the A. Activity table has the event date column. Event date A dot event date, comma first login FL dot first login. First login date. Now date difference between these two dates must be equal to what? 1. Okay. On this condition, I am going to join the table. Now let us see what will this return. There is an error. Unknown column. First login date. A dot event date. First login date. Okay, here I am doing a mistake. It's FIRST. This is a print typing mistake. Typing error. So this is the part it is giving me. This is the output that I want. So see, in this output, for player ID 1, it is joined with some data. Okay, it is joined with some data. But for player ID 2 and 3, since there is no data to match, so it is giving me null because I am using the left join. Now, since it is giving me null, since it is not joining with any data, that means there is no data to be found in the activity table for a particular condition that I have put it on the on here. That diff is equal to A event date minus first login date is equal to 1. For this condition, there is no data here. Therefore, it is giving me null. Okay. So now what I am going to do, I am going to count this player ID and this player ID. The first player ID column is returned by which table? That city first login table. Right. This first login table is returning me this column, and this player ID column is returned by which table? By the activity table. So what I am going to do, I am going to write a count here. So count the activity table player ID. So A dot player ID. Count this player ID. Then divide it by count of how many total players are there. That is, from the first login table, count the player IDs. There it is. Okay. And round it off to 2 decimal places. Round it off to 2 decimal places. That name it. What is the name? Fraction. Okay. So this is my final query, and this will give me the required output. See, it got accepted 0.3. Now see, what was the important part here? This line, date diff is equal to A event date, first login date is equal to 1. That is, difference between these two dates must be equal to 1. Okay. And This part is also important. This part, what I am doing, count of all the player IDs from the activity table, then count of all the player IDs from the first login table. So activity table will return me only those player IDs which have fulfilled these two condition. These two condition. Otherwise, it will not. It will return me null on null, and count will zero. Count will not count the null. It will count it as zero. Okay. Count will only count those player IDs which have fulfilled these conditions. These two conditions. Okay. So this is the my final query, and I hope you have understood the solution. Let me submit it here. It got accepted, but 7.73. Let me resubmit. Why is it so much? 59 last time. 69. Okay, this same query might return you. Let me resubmit it again. 53 again, right? But the same query might return give you 80 above 80 also sometimes. But I don't know what's happening here. But I hope you have understood the solution here. How I have written the um, query. Okay, if you have any doubt, comment it on the comment section. And also, if you like this video, share it with your friends and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.